Good evening, YouTubers. So today I wanted to come to you with a part one, which is going to be one of four. Is the junk journals. So I've only ever made one of these before. I wanted to talk you through how I found it and how intimidating I found it to do and get to this sort of point. And I haven't stickered this one up yet, so that's one that we'll be doing. Maybe looking at that one, but definitely looking at this one. So I'm going to go through what I found hurdles, what I found intimidating, and how I found each bit, and if there's anything that I can help you with. Now I've got a whole array of glues up here. I've got Yoo-Hoo pen, fantastic thing. Let me turn some light on so you can actually see. Oh, there we go. Yoo-Hoo pen, which is absolutely fantastic. This is. It's got a little sponge in the end, so you can use it quite easily. Very controlled. We've got No-Sew fabric glue. This is fantastic and holds everything to. I mean, everything that you stitch, it literally holds it. So again, brilliant stuff. We've got Prick Stick. Good stuff again. I have used cheaper versions of this, and it's just not as good as the Prick Stick. You can get a Yoo-Hoo one of these, which I will try. We've got normal sellotape, which is just clear sellotape. I do have this stuff, which is Scotch tape, which is heavy duty. If you can see that, which is fantastic, and on bigger books it works absolutely fine and brilliantly when you want to sort of stern up the spine part of it. But for this one, it's too wide for what I want. So we're going to revert to clear tape, and there's no spine damage on this anyway, so it's just a case of just making sure that everything's okay. So I have also got an array of inks. I'm going to say that I don't like using ink. They don't dry quick enough for me, and I'm too impatient, and then I get covered in ink and everything I'm working on gets covered in ink. But we will look at that perhaps when we come to sticking in the pages when we're on, I think it's part 3. So this one we're just going to prep the book here so that can be dry ready for when we do part 2, and I'm going to talk you through my booklets and my book and basically what we're going to be doing. So everything I cut, everything I use, everything I keep. So these are all my cutouts that I found in books, different books that I've cut out. Well, one book. There's been a couple of casualties as well that I've tried to do, but never sort of made it to the cut just to do my first one. So a couple of casualty books. So we've just gone through and I just take out what I want. I print off stuff. I have paper backings that I like. Then I sit and cut things out. Just lots of different things. If I cut a page for whatever reason, I keep the offcut. So these are the larger offcuts that I keep here. I'll put that over there. And then I keep the longer offcuts in this one. So these are what's left over when I do a cut from anything. It doesn't necessarily even have to be from making a scrap journal. So they're all in there. So that's in one bulldog clip there. And then I have here all the longer bits and the shorter bits and all the little bits. Oh, I keep everything because you never know when you're going to want just a scrap of the same colour or whichever. And then I've got bigger bits which I would show you, but it means taking my camera down, and I'll show you that in a bit. Maybe. Hang on, I might be able to show you in a big plastic box behind me. I have sections, so purple, I have a folder in there, so purple, pink, all the different colours, and then I can go to whichever colour I want. So there's metallic one there. So I've sort of got pretty shored up on my paper and everything. This is one book that I like. This was one of my casualties when I first did my first one, and it was everything that I need to know about the River Thames. It's beautiful. There's lots of bits in there to do with castles and all sorts of rivers and everything, and I like this book. sort of just putting one page in. So Lechlade to Radcott. Maybe I'll go there one day. The River Churn. They're Cricklade. I don't even know where that is, but I would like to go to there one day, but that's if there's enough pages going to be left in the book by the time I've finished. These are my really long bits, my edgings, sort of different ones. So, like I said, I keep everything, even if they're scrap. They are never scrap. They're always worth keeping. So that's what we're going to be looking at. So today I dismantled a book that was Sagittarius. Okay, if you can see that. So all I did was just cut one side, it flapped open, cut the other side. When you do it, be mindful that if you push the knife in too far, you will cut the spine of the book. Hence why I've had, cut the cover. Hence why I've had some casualties as I've been going along. But this is what we've got. So this is going to have to be covered because I don't want a Sagittarius one. Spine's all intact, so I don't have to worry about sticking anything on the outside of that one. And on the inside, nice and solid. I will put some clear tape up it just to make sure, and we'll go from there. Right, so in this one we're going to look through what I've done and how I've done it, and then we're going to go from there. Stick this bit together because on the next video there's nothing worse than it not being ready, and I'm really impatient, as I said. So I cut out 4 pieces of purple paper, that card. So 4 pieces, 2 for that one, and there's 2 underneath that one, if you can see there. Okay, so this, you're going to put your tape on it. We're going to stick this on, which is actually off a cushion off of our couch, which I no longer used. I had 2 of them and I thought they're beautiful, so we'll use that, and I'm sure I can find something, and here it is. So we're going to stick that over the top. We've got some, like I say, we're going to use the No-Sew fabric glue, No-Sew fabric glue, to stick that down. And then this one, all I did was found a piece of edging that I liked. See, it would have come out of the edging one, which is fantastic because we'd have kept it. And it's got a little candle on it because you're going to be able to see this between the 2. I'm going to put 2 signatures in this one, 2 booklets into this. So that is going to be the centre. So that's going to go up the middle. Now each one, you don't want it to reach the top and the bottom because it will hang over and it will look a bit peculiar. Okay. So let's stick this on first so this can be drying. So let's do tape, a couple of pieces of tape. We're just going to run it straight up the middle of it, if I can find the end. Bear with me. Oh, there it is. We got it. So let's turn this sideways. I have a habit of putting things in skew width. Oh, my tape's just not happy. I don't know, I'm stuck together, bear with me. Okay, here we go. Okay, so again, you don't want it to go and poke out the top. So we're just going to put one to the one side, like so. Don't forget the book has still got a bend as well. So when you put it in there, just bear in mind that if you stick it to the outside like so, and then kind of bend it inwards, and sort of jab it in like that. I do have one of these, which is a lot of people use. It's called a bone tool, where they use it to make sure that the spines are nice and flat and very well squashed. By doing that to it, just running it along. But you can use anything. I mean, that was off of a Cricut. I used to have a Cricut, which I sadly don't have anymore, but the tools that came with it we've still got, and that was one for scraping out, sort of getting rid of any air bubbles that was in the plastic, in the plastic sticky bit. So that is what I use, works really well. So all I want to do is just run it along there, just to make sure that that's got more than enough, like so. There we go. And then I'm going to stick a bit each side. So on that bit there, if you can see that, just on that white bit there. Try and cover the tape as well. When we come to using the material, try and cover the tape up that you put on. But if you don't panic. Okay, a little bit that side. It just makes and secures up everything that's inside. Right, okay, so now I'm just going to fill it with, this is the No Sew fabric glue. It's called High Tack, and they're not lying. Once this stuff dries, there's no going back. Okay. So you want to put plenty on, but don't get it right to the edges. Okay. Let's put that out of the way. Okay, so we're going to rub it down like so, and then just make sure every bit of it's got some on, like so. There we go. It is a messy job because you want to make sure that it's all on there. What I always find is I get an overshoot with my glue and it ends up splurting out the sides, but if that's what happens, that's what happens. Do not panic. Right, so this is what I cut out earlier. I did this and cut these things out for you so you didn't have to watch me cut them out, because sometimes the videos can go on way too long, and I'm very conscious about keeping my videos much shorter than I would like to do them longer. But I mean, there's no point in you watching me cut a piece of material out. So that's what we did. Now I'm going to stick it on. Now it helps because it's material glue. There are some fantastic other videos on YouTube, so do check them out as well. It's well worth watching because there's been some really fantastic people that are doing it as well, and they've got some really good tips, hints and tips as well. So all I'm doing is just showing you how I'm doing mine, which is probably very wrong in comparison to what they do, and I'm sure that's the case, but it is what it is. I mean, all I can do is sort of talk you through it. What I found was when I started it, I was very intimidated by sewing the books together and that, and I found that very intimidating. I don't know why, whether that's because my sewing skills aren't very good or what, I don't know. Come on. There we go. Just a little bit. Just make sure that every bit's stuck down. Like that. And that looks lovely. Oh, no, that bottom look. Now you think with all the glue that I put on, you'd think it was nothing escaped. But no part escapes. But it just goes to show how easy it is to miss a piece. So there we go. Right, so that can be drying now, because that's really important. I'm so impatient when it comes to doing things that I want to get it done, and I want it now, and so forth and so forth. So I am aware that I can be a little bit like that. So right, so this was my 2 pieces of cardboard stuck together, and then my edging piece of paper that I just stuck on with double-sided sticky tape, which is my friend. I love it. And then we're going to stick it in there, just right there, so it looks and it can be drying and lovely. Now I have got some paper clips, which I like to use to hold down the ends, just to make sure that they don't sort of ping up, because they can go a bit bendy when you put liquid glue on them. So we're going to put some of this in here again, then straight up the middle. Make sure as well when you cut this that your book can still fold closed, otherwise it's not going to do its job. But you're going to see this bit, so do make sure that it's really nice and decorated. You can put stickers on them, you can use, oh my goodness, you can use ink, stickers, pictures. I mean, mine's just like I say, it's off of one of the pictures that I couldn't use that edge, and it's just of a candle, nothing sort of else, but I just thought it was very nice to go in the back, so that's going to go in there, like so. It's a bit tight on my wrist. Right, so I'm going to bend these open a bit because I don't want it to damage the book, and just slot it on the end. Perhaps that's a little bit too open. Lisa, there we go. It just holds it down for me. There we go, so that's one on there. And then this one's going to go on this end. Now normally I would have put this on the next video, but I think this is something that needs doing first really. It's one of the first jobs because it's so important that it's dry by the time you come along to do it. So that's what we've sort of been left with, if you can see that. So we've glued on this back material to give it a nice backing and hide the tape that we put on, which I've not fully hidden it there. But it doesn't matter because I'm going to put something here and here when the book's finished. And then we've stuck this in the middle, which is going to hold on tight and it's going to stick fast, like nice like that. And then that will give you something to look at when the book is finished. So just make sure it closes, open and closes, like so. Like that. And there we go, all's good. It doesn't like my paper clip. Right, there we go. So let's pop that to one side. So the next part is, I wanted to show you, let me put that away. Right, I wanted to show you what I generally did. So there's the pages of the Sagittarius book. Now, if it had been in a different month, it would have been better for me. But Sagittarius is not my star sign. So if you were a Sagittarius, for instance, then you could have kept certain bits of it and you could have put it in, introduced it into the signatures that you've done. But as it stands, this is no good for me. But I'm not going to get rid of it because you never know. You never know when something's needed like this, so I'm going to keep that in my cardstocks. Okay, so this is what I do. I cut out a page that, as long as my signatures don't overlap or go out the size of that to there, you see that, and there to there. So everything I cut is within those parameters. That helps me, then I haven't got to keep going back and checking it and whatnot, and checking and checking and checking. Now I keep these, after I've made them, I keep them all in a plastic bag. I say all, I only have one. But I will be keeping them, and if I do any more in the future, I will be keeping them too. Because they're ideal to have. If you do any book, I tend to find I like the smaller ones. Or the smaller books. So that may fit in one of my other books when I come to do it in the future, so I won't have to measure up and make a new one. I know it sounds really, really like inferior, but I think if it saves a few minutes, then it's got to be worth doing, and it's not chucking anything out. I'm very, very tight. Cardboard and backings are expensive, and so's ink and whatnot. Goodness me, it just started raining and it is coming down quite heavy. Thank goodness we walked the dog this morning. Right, so that's going beautifully. Okay, so these are the signatures. I call them booklets. Well, I think I'm very wrong. I think they are, well, I don't think they are. I know they are called signatures. So I went through my cardstocks and picked out what I liked. Now, because this book is quite small, I'm only going to do 2 signatures in this one. I did 3 in mine, like that, if you can see. So there's 3 in there of that one. Can you see that? Yeah. I did make a mistake with that. And I'll be doing the same with this one, but perhaps not quite so as thick as what I did with the other one, with my other one. Okay. So what I do is I get my signatures into their little folders, go through and make sure everything is round the right way. That's the first thing you must do. Right, let's take it as that side. Yeah, so this is the bottom. Go through and make sure everything's round the right way. You don't always want the pattern on the inside, so do try and remember that. You want sometimes a pattern on the outside as well. So when you look at it like that, you've got the pattern there, and then when you then you've got the blanker part there. But this is the part where on my part 3, it will have how I put my stickers in and what inspires myself and inspires me to do my my videos, which is obviously you guys. So I do thank you and thank you very much. But hit that subscribe button. I've got loads of new videos coming out, so like I say, they're my inspiration. I've got little gonks I'm going to be making out of air dried clay, which I don't normally use. I usually use polymer clay, so that'd be good. One of the very first videos I did was with with air dried clay, and it was a pair of gnomes at Christmas time. So I'm going to try and reproduce those. Not the same, because these ones I want to go in the back garden. So I'm going to make them fairly large with a large chunk of clay, so probably about this big. So please, please, please subscribe, put on your notifications, hit the subscribe button at the bottom, put on your notifications, and then you'll not miss any more videos that usually come out on a Monday. Okay, so here we go. So it's just the rest of my... This is one I bought for my daughter. She's into heavy metal and all that sort of thing, and I just thought it'd be funny, but she didn't like it. So, well, I didn't think it was funny. I thought she would like it, because she's sort of into quite dark stuff. But yeah, well, no, less said there. Green card. I like the pinks. So it's anything that's inspirational to me. That one says, I didn't even know I had this one until I looked earlier on. Live, dream, half blue, inspire. So I thought it was a really nice one to put in here as well. And then some dark roses and this one says journey, enjoy the journey. So I think that's a nice one as well, because I am on a real journey. So each one is inspired by something that's for me, if you like. So make sure when you do it, it's more inspired for you, and then you sort of go from there. So again, the second signature. They're all different sizes. This page was a backing that I don't like, so I will be getting rid of that. Some of them you can just write on, some of them you can stick stickers on, some of them you can embellish, you can use inks, you can use any of it, entirely up to you. So this one says, may the winds always be at your back, life's a voyage, that's homeward bound, the best looking glass is the eyes of a friend. So it's got some really nice stuff in this one as well. It was just bits and bobs that I found. Like I said, I didn't really know I had. So I really sort of went through my paperwork and papers, backing papers and that, and saw what I could find. So another stuff that I print off is I tend to try and find some print-offs, like pictures. Oh, let me see what's on my printer at the moment. So, like the gonks, I'm going to be doing gonks. Lots of gonks. I'm going to be doing the 2. I've got 2 vases, 2 queen vases that live in the house that I want to put mushrooms on one and hedgehogs on the other. That was my husband's idea. My mum loves mushrooms. She's into them in a big kind of way, so I thought I'd put the polymer on it and we'll do it on a video, and then I'm going to give them to her. So there's my gonks. And then we've got, that's not what I wanted. Oh, I wanted to do a Shrek. So there's a picture of Shrek. So I print mine off sometimes, but like these ones, with the one with let me see if I can find it. Like this one that says, oh, I might be on the back of this one. It says poison. It's not because I want to poison anybody. It was just it came with some Victorian. I like the old, like oldie worldy stickers and things like that. And it came with some Victorian stickers and everything, which I thought were really nice. And this was just some writing paper, which I ordered. I didn't realise they would be quite so graphic, but I don't know, I've got something about it. It's a bit strange and a bit weird, a bit like me. But there you go. So that's part 1. We will meet and do part 2, and that will be making the holes and getting them stitched in. all together, and that will get that sorted. And then once that one's done, we can then go through on part 3, and we're going to have a look at sticking in pages that I find inspirational pages and all that sort of thing, and how we sort of fit them in without them looking too bad. I want to make some pockets to go in there on some of them, so we'll have a look at how we do those, and we'll go from there. So thanks for watching, hit that subscribe button, and I will speak to you very soon.